Welcome back to another episode of Under Contract. As always, I'm excited to be here to share enlightening conversations that I have with super amazing, and I can't believe I use those two words in the same sentence, super amazing guests who will not only educate you, but bring awareness to something that you might be either experiencing, having gone through, or getting ready to go through, whether it's your health, your finances, spiritually, emotionally, professionally, or all of the above. It's important to make these commitments to ourselves to be a better version of who we are. And that is 99.9% of why we are here, to bring you guests that will talk about their pain to purpose, to bring to the forefront topics that are super important. And obviously some of these topics I've experienced myself, whether it's black mold exposure, breast implant illness, or a home that's been super toxic for your environment, whatever it might be. I want you to walk away feeling like that you're empowered and educational on what to do next. And today's guest fits right into that checklist. I've been on this trajectory of bringing on guests that are in the health and wellness space because I've been going through it. And for selfish reasons, I love learning more about this space on why they do what they do, whether they're a practitioner or a creator. And this guest happens to be both. She's a practitioner and a creator of the Ali Protocol, where she takes the holistic approach to chronic illness. And as we all know, chronic illness is a thing, whether it's long haul COVID, say that twice, or if it's POTS, or if it's MCAS. And we'll get into what those are, because those are literally experiences, conditions that a person goes through, and we can't quite figure out why they're still going through it. So welcome to the show, Alekha
Akkapeddi.
I knew I would do it. It was just a matter of go for it, Tammy. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Wow, that was quite
excited.
I feel like when I introduce a guest, I'm like, there's so much I want to get in about them because everybody's so special. So tell me a little bit about the Ali Protocol. I mean, I looked it up. I looked at your website, and you've created such a niche. And I think first, before we go into the Ali Protocol, I want to know who you were before this protocol.
Oh, yeah, that's such a loaded question. You know, I never thought that I was even going to get into this space or into this world. I started off with a very traditional academic background. I was pre-med in college. I, did all the science courses. I was going to apply to medical school. And my last year of undergrad, I became very sick when I went to Greece. And I came back and I went through the rigmarole of doctors and Eastern, Western, and nobody was giving me any answers, but I was getting sicker.
I feel like we've all been there, right? Chronic illness is no joke, right?
Yeah.
And I realized this the other day when I was doing, I think, ozone therapy. And I thought back in my mind how long I've been going through this journey. And I don't feel like it's a one and done.
No.
Right? So I feel like when you're chronically ill, the moment you start to feel better, it's almost like PTSD, because you're so used to feeling like crap that when you start feeling better, it's almost like the light bulb goes off and you're like, whoa, this is what it feels like to not feel sick.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
So what was the challenge or the struggle that changed this whole trajectory for you? I know you mentioned that you got sick.
Yeah. So I got sick. I was going to some pretty top institutions in the country, and they were not able to provide me with any answers. And so against what I had known in science, I went to a functional medicine family friend, and she told me to do this very ancient energetic practice from our culture. I'm Indian. And I was not super religious or spiritual, so this was pretty unconventional for me. But I did the practice for 3 months, and all of a sudden my symptoms started to get better out of nowhere.
Okay, this is going to really make people go, wait a minute, sign up right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I started to get better, and I wanted to kind of fill in the blanks of what was going on scientifically. And so, long story short, what I realized was Western medicine was missing some pieces. And that was the first time that I saw that.
Okay, wait. Let's go back. Wait, Western medicine was missing some pieces. Hello?
Yeah.
Like, we know that for a fact.
100%.
I mean, where do we start? That's a whole different podcast.
Exactly.
But okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And so that was really the first, it completely blew apart my world. I was like, everything that I've ever known and my life's path is completely being challenged right now. And I started to look into more like holistic medicine and spiritual practices and the connection really of like nutrition and sleep and, energy work. But like, what is like the science behind that? And I don't think it existed at that time, and it's still not really existing. But yeah, so then I got a Master of Science in Human Nutrition and Metabolic Biology from Columbia. I studied circadian rhythms there.
So good. So good. That is a whole different conversation right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. That is, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that is 60%, if not 70%, if not more, part of the success of how healthy you are when it comes to sleeping, the lighting.
100%.
Your everything regulates that.
Yeah.
I love that.
100,000%. And that was really also the first time that I saw like how circadian rhythms and circadian alignment was so important for chronic illness. And at that time, it was like 2019, it was not being talked about at all. So yeah, then through a bunch of different life experiences and job experiences, I found this path, created the protocol really with the tenets of quantum biology, which are light, hydration, and magnetism. And everything that I had been doing for like the last 5 or 6 years kind of fell into that. So
do you feel like part of that pain that you went through, and how long did you go through all of that? Like what timeline was this? Like a year, 2 years, 3 years?
no, I was sick for probably 6 or 7 years.
So do you think that turned into your purpose? Obviously.
Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
perfect.
Yeah.
So was there a specific moment when you realized you were being called into this work? I mean, because doing the trajectory that you were on is very traditional in terms of science, medicine, Western medicine, the whole 9 yards. And it takes something pretty, in my world, supernatural to make you stop and pivot.
Yeah.
To go the opposite direction, because we in this space are considered woo-woo.
Yeah.
Right? And the more woo-woo, the better for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Parasite cleanses, the whole 9 yards. The more, the better for me. So what was it that you felt like, or did you feel like that experience pulled you into this work?
I think through dealing with these chronic illnesses like POTS and MCAS while I was going through.
Share with us what that is, POTS and
So
MCAS.
POTS is Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia Syndrome. Literally the worst illness, I feel. One of the worst illnesses. Every time you get up, your heart goes to probably 120 to 130.
Oh, crap.
And you feel like you're going to pass out. You get really bad heart palpitations. You feel like you're going to throw up. You're dizzy. And then MCAS, which is very tied in with POTS, Mast Cell Activation Syndrome.
I have that, yep.
Also very similar symptoms: dizziness, heart racing, rashes, GI.
Histamine.
Yeah. So when I was going through that while I was in school, I started to really think, okay, if I want to go and pursue this degree and become a doctor, will I actually be able to help people get to the root of these illnesses and help them heal?
I love that you had enough wherewithal to ask yourself that question instead of going full throttle, becoming a doctor. And in today's world, as we know, doctors haven't figured it out yet. They're still practicing medicine.
Yeah.
So there's that. Okay. So you decided.
Yeah, I decided, probably because I still applied to medical school. I still took the MCAT, had my applications in at one point. So it was a pretty drastic pivot for me to be
It's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge
not gonna
because
do that.
it goes against everything that we are taught in school. Science, trust the science, trust the science. I mean, to some degree, yes.
Yeah.
There's a place for antibiotics. There's a place for all of this stuff. However, look where COVID got us.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at the peptide rage right now, right? Where there's a space for it, right? The FDA's approved a certain amount of them, but there's a gray area too where people are just injecting their bodies with stuff they don't even know they're injecting.
Exactly.
So where's the science in that?
100%. And I think too, my question that has driven me since even when I was in college was, why do people get sick? And then I started to see, okay, well, someone could be healthy one day and the next day be completely sick and then have chronic illness. And I think I really wanted to get to the why.
And did you feel like you did?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, is that how you came to the ALI protocol?
Yes.
So tell me about that. What is the ALI protocol? And for those of us listening to you and hearing it for the first time, break it down to layman's terms.
Yeah. So the ALI protocol is a 16-week protocol program that helps you move out of chronic illness.
Sign me up. Dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I would love to.
I mean, Okay. 16 weeks.
Yeah, 16 weeks. And so it's really going, like I said, under the layer of what we know traditional science to be, traditional physics to be, traditional biology to be. And it goes to the level of quantum biology, meaning what is going on underneath the mitochondria that maybe we can't really even observe with our eyes. So,
It's all about the cells.
yes, mitochondria, powerhouse of the
All
cell,
of it.
all of it. So we move through circadian rhythms. That's first and foremost, like you said, 60, 70, 80% of chronic illness depends on your circadian rhythm.
Now, is that directly connected to hormone health too?
Yes.
Okay,
it's
for sure.
everything.
Okay, I was going to say. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the gut is the story. Okay, it's
Yeah.
all connected. Okay.
So gut health, nervous system health,
Yep.
hormone health,
Yep.
all determinant on circadian rhythms.
Yep.
So that's really where you start before you go into anything deeper. And then we go into hydration, which is a huge component for chronic illness. And then eventually we move into what I call magnetism. So resetting the nervous system. And this is really the meat and potatoes of it. A lot of chronic illness is nervous system dysregulation. No.
Adrenal dysregulation,
dysregulation.
cortisol, insulin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all connected. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we hear the word nervous system regulation, but it feels a little incomplete to me sometimes. Like, how exactly do you regulate the nervous system? And a lot of that is actually in our subconscious belief systems.
10,000%.
Yeah.
At the conversations I call it the committee.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
in your head. That the conversations you're having with your committee,
Yeah.
1,000,000% affect how you see the world.
Totally.
Because if something is, it goes back to Carl Jung. If you see something happening,
Yeah.
your response to that is your response to how you think it's happening versus what's really going on. Right?
You connect
And
that,
that's
yeah.
in your head.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we had a thought about a situation or a thought about a thought, and we're like, the worst case scenario is coming up to play, and none of that's even existing.
Exactly.
Right? So no wonder your body's on tilt half the time. And you walk in like, oh my God, the world's on fire, when it really isn't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys. And then everybody's on Xanax and taking all the things, and that just
antidepressants,
makes it worse.
Yeah. You're just numbing the signal. Yeah.
The signal, that's it. I mean, tell me a little bit let's talk a little bit more about mitochondrial health. That is such a powerhouse thing right now. I feel like, as much as peptides are a thing right now, mitochondrial health is a thing.
Totally.
Like, again, peptides won't function the way that they were designed to function if your mitochondria is whacked.
Exactly. And I always say, like, it's so hard to build a house when the foundation isn't there.
Oh my God.
It's like you're trying to build on top of a landfill. And people are so quick to jump to just try to build with X, Y, and Z tool with completely ignoring the foundations. And a lot of mitochondrial health is dependent on those foundations.
Oh my God, that's a buzz right there. So let me ask you this. Okay, I'm going to present to you a vignette.
Sure.
You have a 45-year-old woman, healthy, eats the right things, drinks good water, works out, hormones. She's on HRT, the whole thing. And I thought about this before I asked this question. And she doesn't have any symptoms, but tested recently on maybe, let's say, blood work for the markers of autoimmune gastritis.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's talk about that, because they're markers, right? It didn't confirm the diagnosis.
Yeah.
But her doctor, whether it be a regenerative or functional medicine practitioner, is saying, okay, you have the markers for it, which means X, Y, and Z. Your body isn't, B12 is an issue, iron, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
How does that person come out of the alley protocol and feel like there's hope?
Yeah. So that's a great question.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're looking at the foundations, the physical foundations, and those are all, pretty clear, pretty good, then we have to look at the nervous system and the higher layer foundation. So obviously there's a physical foundations, but there's the mental and emotional foundations too. So where is your baseline? Where is your nervous system? Are you starting your day in kind of this low grade fight or flight? And then we start to peel back that layer. And then by addressing those layers of mental, emotional, and even energetic, then downstream, the physical results will show.
So what is autoimmune gastritis? Like, I can tell you what I think it is, but honestly, if a person's walking around with the markers for that, right?
Yeah. Well, autoimmunity is an interesting, there's physical, emotional, and mental ways to look at autoimmunity, is how I see in the ALI protocol. And autoimmunity fundamentally is the body not feeling safe.
Okay. It's attacking itself.
It's attacking
Right,
itself.
right.
I always use this analogy, the fire alarm's going off, but there's no fire.
Just like the committee and the conversations in your head. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So why is the fire alarm still going off if
Right.
there's no fire?
Right.
And then that's when we start to peel these different layers and look at them individually and be like, okay, it's actually coming from this.
So the gastritis factors in how? How does that affect, like, overall?
Well, if it's an autoimmune gastritis, I'm looking maybe if there's some kind of stealth pathogen or toxin
Yeah.
that hasn't been addressed. So for example, like H. pylori or
SIBO.
SIBO or EBV even.
Yep.
So that's the physical, like I was saying. But then I believe, and in the ALI protocol, we believe that each of the physical toxins and pathogens corresponds with a mental and emotional toxin or pathogen. So it's interesting that, for example, someone will have EBV, but then when you look at some of their belief systems or emotions, it's themes around boundaries and people
So it's
pleasing.
past trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know what EBV is, that's Epstein-Barr virus, which is a very common in the autoimmune world. I mean, that's just right up there with MCAS and POTS. Everybody, those are the first, let's rule it out type thing,
Yeah.
right? So how do you feel like your personal experience has helped you and shaped the way that you approach healing today?
Yeah, so I think that I have tried so many tools over the last 7 or 8 years. Like, I've probably tried every tool, to be honest. And what I've found with the tools that I've tried is it really is those foundations that I talked about.
Yeah.
And my personal experience too, I think really led me to understand that healing happens in layers.
That does.
Yeah. And, maybe you peel back one layer and then another layer comes up. And that's not anything that there's something wrong with the body or something wrong with you. It's all happening for you.
Yeah. No, for sure.
To examine something different in your life.
For sure.
at a
And I
time.
feel like it's kind of a warning light.
Yeah.
Okay, this has happened. This has been going on over here forever.
Totally.
And this is why this is going on over here forever.
100%.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
So who is your ideal patient? Who comes to you often, and what are they struggling with usually?
Yeah, so typically someone with POTS, MCAS, it's not usually just one, too.
Well, they're all kind of intertwined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I always say POTS and MCAS is really the tip of the iceberg to some deeper levels of dysregulation, whether it's mitochondrial, microbial, or metabolic.
Right.
So it's usually someone who has POTS, MCAS, mold illness, maybe some hormonal issues, some metabolic issues like high insulin, high blood sugar. So that's typically who comes to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you feel the biggest, and I know there's probably so many ways to answer this question, but what do you feel the biggest misconception people are having about chronic illness?
The chronic illness means that there's something wrong with you.
Right.
I don't believe that at all.
I like that.
Yeah. I always say that illness is the path to awakening of something higher. And I truly believe that.
And it is all energy.
It's all,
It really is. Because again, it goes back to what you think about, you become. Like, it's all those same things, right? I'm sure you see a ton of clients. So what are some things some clients maybe in the past or currently have taught you?
To be
surprised you.
Yeah. Surprise is definitely the word. To trust the process. Sometimes I'll have a client and they don't necessarily do all the steps in the way that I ask them to do the steps. Like, they won't take the supplements, they won't fully dial in on their sleep or their hydration, but that their body is actually has a perfect intelligence and will pace it at the moment that they need it. And over time, they actually do get better, but it's not necessarily with what I thought they were going to get better with.
Or on the timing you thought it would be.
On the timing I thought it would be. Yeah.
There's one thing when I was going through breast implant illness that I had to teach myself, because back then there weren't any black box warnings. So, BII was a thing, but not really a thing, where doctors were dismissing it more and gaslighting more. And the one thing that I had to learn the hard way was to make friends with this.
Yes.
To make friends with this chronic situation after explanting, and to make friends with the process. Because the minute you don't, it will be an uphill battle. And that applies to anything, right? And what it did teach me, surprisingly, was that our bodies can heal themselves if you give it the right environment.
See,
Right?
that was another answer for me of the body can absolutely heal itself.
Yeah. I've been there multiple times, and that's why I think that's the reassurance I think anybody who's facing chronic illness has. And that is, okay, I've been here before and I did it.
Yeah.
My body did it. This is just a different version because it pops up in different waves, right? Like you could resolve from one illness and it'll pop up over here because you didn't take care of this.
Definitely.
But you have to address everything
Yeah.
at the same time. So if you could change one thing about the way we think about health, what would it be?
I'm going to say something a little controversial.
Do it.
Like you said, we actually don't need anything outside of ourselves to heal. Yeah.
I like that.
That is
That's powerful.
Thank you. Yeah. I know that's a bit controversial, especially now in this health and healing world. There's always a new device or a new supplement, and they're great, and they're great tools, and they're great support. But when you come back to the essence of healing and health, you don't need anything outside of yourself to heal.
I agree. My girlfriend is an influencer online, and she has been a coach in the health and fitness world for a while. She's been a trainer, the whole 9 yards. And when she realized she was doing it according to society's norm, hustle, grind, push, 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 get through the pain, get through it. And she stopped fighting her body.
Yeah.
And allowed it to be what it's going to be and strip away all the stuff she was doing and putting her body through, it healed.
Yeah.
Crazy. And she's preaching from the mountaintops now about how, oh my gosh, I'm not doing carnivore diet. I'm actually eating a little combination of everything. I'm not restricting. I'm not this. Because when you put your body through that stress, it will do only one thing, fight back.
Yeah.
And that shows up in so many different ways,
Yeah.
illnesses and the whole thing. I love that, though, because I encourage anyone who's watching or listening to this that if you've been doing things over and over again, it's just not working.
Yeah.
Let your body do its thing. It may suck for a second because you're going to allow it to do its thing and you're not going to have the crutch of a supplement, the crutch of this or a device. You're going to let it heal. And, God didn't create us to be sick.
Exactly.
Right? So what are we doing?
Right.
By making it worse. So how about we kind of take it back to the Bible and just live according to that. Eat the way Daniel ate.
Yeah.
And do things to allow yourself to heal naturally instead of figuring it out.
Yeah.
I think.
Exactly.
What's a belief you hold about healing that isn't wildly accepted? I think we just talked about that. Go ahead.
Something that I've realized through my healing journey, through witnessing others on their healing journey, is sometimes healing is about breaking a pattern. Illness is when the body gets looped in a pattern. And like I said about the fire alarm before, it's how do we tell the body that the fire's not there anymore?
Right.
It's by breaking the pattern.
Right.
And you can do that in a multitude of different ways. But I feel that that's still not a widely accepted belief, or it's not really something talked about, because we are in this belief collectively when it comes to healing and health that it's because X, Y, and Z is like wrong with the body.
Right. So do you feel like that might be part of the reason why some people do all the right things and they're not healing?
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So someone might be doing the quote unquote right things prescribed by a doctor or, practitioner.
Right.
But it might not be right for them in the sense of it's still upholding the pattern in their body.
Oh, it's right there with peptides. Just because influencer A says it works doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Exactly.
Right.
There's so much nuance in health, and there's so much. So maybe that's another not widely accepted belief, is that there's not one size fits all for health.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And not one protocol.
Not one protocol.
It might be a hybrid.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the most profound transformation you've witnessed through your work? I love this one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have chills.
You've probably seen a multitude of them.
Yeah. And they surprise me every single time. So I had a client and she was pretty non-compliant with all the supplements and physical tools I gave her. And she was actually able to go into POTS and MCAS remission from just breaking the pattern of her thoughts and her loops relating to fear.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of psychology behind it.
Yeah. So that was really insane.
So wait, so she didn't comply with the supplement programs at all?
No.
But how did she do this?
she was just, so what she realized was every time that she was in a POTS or MCAS flare, there was these thoughts that were looping in her head of, I'm going to die right now, like, I'm not safe, yada, yada, relating to that.
Right.
And then one day she became aware that her symptoms were correlated from the thoughts that she was having.
Oh my gosh. This is like Psych 101 all over again.
Yeah, it's insane. And then so she tested it out. She was like, okay, I wonder if I just place awareness on this thought of like, I'm having this, this symptom. If I just am aware, like, hey, it's actually coming from fear, if the symptom will go away.
Fear of what though? Like fear of what? Fear of it that it's going to be a full-blown flare?
Yeah, like
because I get that when I have an MCAS situation. Like if I can always tell because I start getting flushed, my skin feels hot and tingly, and it's not necessarily, it's in the same area every time.
Definitely.
And when I feel that remote symptom.
Yeah, right. Then the body
then
starts.
The loop starts.
Yeah, the loop starts.
And I'm like, okay, wait, why is this over here? And then it's over here. And then before I know it, it becomes a full situation.
Definitely. So she was able to go back to step 1 before that even got to step 10. And just be aware of it and was like, okay, this is not going to happen. And she was able to, over time, keep saying that it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen.
Whoa.
And then her symptoms, like, didn't happen one day.
So is she free now, like completely in remission?
I mean, yeah, in terms of POTS and MCAS, there's still other things that
you're working
she needs to work on, like her gut and her hormones. But in terms of POTS and MCAS, yeah.
The gut is like directly related to hormones.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I could talk for hours about this.
Yeah.
So what do you think people are really searching for when they come to you? Like, I feel like they probably, and I'm going to speak from experience because I've been that person. Like I would come to you because I have tried it all.
Yeah.
I've done all the programs.
Exactly.
I know how good it feels to feel good.
Yeah.
I have felt good.
Yeah.
But like we talked about off camera, there's still some existing mold stuff that's going on. Like
what
I feel like, what are people searching for when they come to you? Are you like the final hurrah?
Yeah, a lot of people come to me when they've tried the gamut, Eastern, Western combination, and they feel pretty hopeless.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, is this thing even going to work?
Mm.
And they come to me, like I said, after they've tried it all. And honestly, a lot of times I simplify things exponentially.
We make it difficult.
Yeah. And then also another thing too, that I really believe in my work and I have the wish for every one of my clients is to rewrite their story when it comes to chronic illness.
Wow.
Because chronic illness, especially for me when I was going through it, becomes such an identity.
Oh.
And you don't even know how to get out of it.
I see that online.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll scroll.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'll see some of these people and I'll go, dang girl, if you could just get out of that identity.
Yeah.
Get out of it because that's what's making it stay.
Definitely.
It's just fueling it.
It's that pattern like I talked about. So yeah, just getting out and then rewriting a full new story and like I said, illness, it's the path to awakening of something else. So a lot of times when people come to me, it's like their illness being healed is a byproduct of something else they discover through the process, like a higher calling. Or every client that's come to me, or for the most part, has this other transition. Like they get a new job or the relationship, or they have this revelation about their life's path. So
that's so crazy to me. And it seems so simple.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I love that. So, okay, I've got some rapid fire questions for you. This is my favorite. 3 words that would describe your younger self.
3 words that would describe my younger self definitely were curious, motivated, and precocious.
I like that. We have to have that curiosity. And you have to have all that. So 3 words that would describe you today.
3 words that would describe me today. For some reason, that feels a little more difficult to answer. I would say still curious. Definitely easygoing. I think this process of chronic illness has taught me to loosen up a little bit and enjoy life a little bit more and not be so rigid.
So true.
And I would say motivated still stands.
Yeah. Most underrated healing tool.
Sunlight.
Oh my gosh. If we could just get over, I can't be out in the sun. It's bad for your skin. No.
Yeah.
Every morning I step out onto my balcony. First thing in the morning to get that vitamin D.
Yeah.
Talk about circadian rhythm setting.
Yeah.
Right there. Last thing you guys want to do when you wake up is reach for your phone.
Worst
That is
thing
the
to do.
Or let alone go to bed looking at your phone.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing to your, that screws up your circadian rhythm so much. And talk about the blue light that your body's trying to shut down.
Yeah.
And you're over here scrolling till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Like how is that okay?
No.
And then you wake up doing it.
Yeah, no.
No wonder you're not sleeping through the night. Don't get me started on that stuff. What's the most overrated wellness trend right now?
A one-size-fits-all diet.
10,000%.
I'm not going to name specifically which one I'm against.
I will. Carnivore.
Okay.
Let's go there.
Carnivore.
Yeah. I've tried it.
Yeah.
Lost a ton of weight, but I realized there's 4 food groups for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't have a colorful plate, how colorful is your body going to be? It's not.
Wow.
It's going to be sick. There's a reason there are multi opportunities for you to have all the food in the world.
Definitely.
And if you're worried about collagen production and regenerating your skin, but you're not eating vitamin C,
then it's...
and you're not eating fish oil dense food, like what? Yeah. Like, help me understand this.
No.
People. A daily non-negotiable.
A daily non-negotiable is definitely my meditation practice.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I notice the days that I don't do it, my baseline is way different.
Yeah. When do you do that? First thing in the morning?
Yeah, typically do it first thing in the morning. Sometimes I'll do it in the evening.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I skip it altogether, then my entire day's messed up.
Isn't that powerful to know that there's a direct correlation with how you feel overall?
Yeah.
When you don't, I'm that way when I go to church. If I don't go to church on a Sunday, my week is a mess. A mess. And if I don't pray in the morning like I usually do, I'm a mess.
Exactly.
And I've noticed the last few days, I'm like, what is going on? Because you haven't been doing the things.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. One book that changed your life.
One book that changed my life was probably Healing is Voltage by Jerry Tennant.
Why?
So that was the first time that I saw that the body is not just biochemical, it's bioelectric. And it's a great book to start looking into this stuff of the different energetics of the body, but like from a scientific perspective. So yeah, that was really the first time that I saw, okay, there's actual physics that's like real
behind this.
Yeah.
We had a guest on about a month ago, Dr. Michael Gallitzer, and he has a book called Ageless Vitality. And he's really deep into the he's really deep into that space, really deep. And there's something to be said about that because it's not just, things don't always appear as they seem. You got to dig, you got to dig deep. Gut health or nervous system? Oh,
that's a hard one because
to
me, they're so connected. And I will say your gut is actually a byproduct of your nervous system sometimes. I went to an integrative GI like probably 2 years ago that completely changed my life with that. And I was doing all the right things on paper with my gut health, but my nervous system was still holding on to a lot of fear. And she literally said, you will not be able to heal this. I was dealing with like a biofilm until you can get through this fear.
Okay. And
yeah. So I was like, whoa, that's really insane. Like I am doing all the right things on paper and I think I'm living out of fear. But then when I tuned into it, I was like, oh, she's right. Like just being in fear when I wake up in the morning, like terrified of the world to go out in the world.
Well, not just that, but like, okay, people, how many times do people wake up and go, okay, they think about their finances, they think about the future.
That was me.
They think of, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even like, let me be grateful that I woke up.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I've got to get this done over here. I've got my finances. I've got rent due. I've got this. I mean, no wonder the cascade of shit.
Yeah.
No wonder you feel like shit.
Definitely.
So once you get over that fear, then you made the connection that you can heal.
Yeah.
From your gut.
Exactly.
So is it safe to say that a good percentage of us that have gut issues are dealing with some sort of unresolved trauma and fear?
I'd say like 99.
So would that be applicable to a woman who's got autoimmune gastritis?
I would say likely.
Really?
Yeah. And to clarify, trauma doesn't have to be this big crazy event that happened.
No.
Or like, some capital T, there's capital T trauma and lowercase t trauma.
Yeah.
Capital T trauma are these big events like, like a disaster or some kind of abuse and in that wheelhouse. But little t trauma could be something that happened that made your body feel like it was unsafe.
Oof. Relationship loss.
Or
dog loss, parent loss.
Yeah.
That made you just feel like, whoa.
Or something even as minuscule as you were public speaking in school one day and then a classmate made fun of you.
And you felt rejected.
Yes.
And you're holding on to that.
Exactly.
Just be like me and don't give a shit.
Yes, exactly.
Just don't give a shit. I always joke with my girlfriends, as women, when we hit certain ages, like for example, when we hit 30, we've lived a little bit. We kind of know what's going on, what we like and dislike. Then you hit 40, you're like, okay, I've been around the block a little bit. My patience is like, it's waning.
Yeah.
And then you hit 50, you're like, hell no. Like I've done it. I've seen it. I'm not going to compromise. When you hit 60 and I just hit 60, I'm like, I really don't give a shit. I do not care. Maybe that's my fear. I don't care.
I love that.
Right?
Well, we all need to be like that.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I'm so unbothered about, I mean, because if you knew the version of me years ago when I had the implants and my boobs, I had fake eyelashes, I did all the things, no judgment there. I was that person for a long time and I was very happy, trust me.
Yeah.
But when the light switch goes off and you realize the connection between your chronic illness and what's inside your body and what you're feeding yourself and what you're reading and doing all the things, it was full stop.
Yeah.
Like remove it. I don't care what the heck. Restore me back to who I am originally. And when you arrive in this space, which is who I am now, and I can say this confidently, there's no need to validate anymore. It's like, you're either in or you're out. And I'm going to show up either with makeup on or no makeup on. And it doesn't mean I don't love myself any less or more. Right?
Say that louder. Yeah.
Right?
I love
It's
that.
just, I'm comfortable and I'm really unbothered.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too far, Alekha. I mean,
Oh, no, there's no such thing.
you don't think so? Energetically?
No, definitely. I mean, sure, yeah. Like if you don't care about anything and you're like, oh, I'm just going to float on in life. But
It's like the dopamine zero. Like I have zero.
No. I think it's like coming to that place, like you just said, of just peace and equanimity.
Yes.
And
that's a good one.
That's a huge place. That's an amazing place to be.
Yeah.
And especially when you do have chronic illness. Yeah. Like coming to that place of equanimity and peace is so special.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where I've arrived.
Oh.
It's just like, but I'm going to talk to you offline. We're going to talk about this mold thing that keeps surfacing.
Yeah.
Like why? It shouldn't be. I don't know. Maybe I'm just one of those special cases. One lesson your patients have taught you.
Yeah, still like trust the process and be patient. That continues to teach me. They continue to teach me that, to trust the process, trust their timing, trust their body. Sometimes go against what you know and what you have, like, let's say I've learned something about a certain diet or certain peptide or certain supplement, but in this case, it could work for this person. So just be open-minded.
Wow, I like that because it is across the board and it doesn't, that's a good perspective. What's one thing that's bringing you joy right now?
Ooh, just, this morning I woke up and I got my coffee and I drove by the beach and I had that moment of just exhale where I was like, life is good. And for a lot of my life, I did not live in that space. Life was really tough and life presented me with a lot of trials. Woe is me.
We became a victim in our own world. Yeah,
definitely. She's so cute. But today was the first day that I was like, okay, you're here. You've arrived. And you've reached that place of equanimity and peace.
You know what's interesting is the power of your mind, right? Because the first half of my day was a little, it presented me with some things where I had to pivot and I wasn't ready to pivot. Like, for example, I was late to this. But the first half of my day literally was where I felt like I just don't feel like doing anything today. Like I really didn't have any desire to do anything. Then I stopped and I said, hold on, Tammy, right? I told myself a different story. I said, this is your podcast. How do you want to show up today? How are you going to show up? Not that I didn't want to do it. I just had this overall feeling of I don't want to do anything, right? Especially after I was running late after call after call. But then I stop. I go, hold on a second. How are you going to show up today? Like, you're not giving up on yourself. You're just choosing not to show up in a certain way. And that shifted everything. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to be a little late. It's okay. I'm still going to go and it's still going to be good because it's usually the opportunities when they don't happen the way you think it should or you planned for it, they become amazing.
I 100% agree with
that.
Yeah.
Because it's that whole, okay, I expected this, but now it's this.
Definitely.
So now something else is going to happen.
And I was just talking about that today with a friend of like that place of surrender when things don't go your way and then you surrender to the situation and something 15 times greater that you didn't even think of comes in.
So powerful. Yeah. And it's like that with relationships.
Yeah.
Right? People are like, no, he has to look like this or she has a, no, they don't.
Yeah.
It could be better.
Yeah.
Legacy in one sentence.
Legacy in one sentence. Let's see. That the power of the human spirit can heal anything.
I believe that.
And the knowledge of how powerful we are as human beings is widely dispersed. And people don't forget that. They remember that.
Yeah. That's true. If a person watching or listening today is in the same place that you just came from, they're searching for answers, they're confused, they're lost, um, and they're just in this space of not sure if there's hope for them to feel better, what would you want them to hear today?
I know that it might be hard to hear, and I know it might be hard to find, but there's always hope. Even in this, I actually heard a quote the other day that said, when you are in your lowest moments or you feel empty, that's actually the space that divine grace can come in,
Yes.
the strongest.
Yes.
And I really feel that divine grace and that hope, even when you're in your lowest moments, if you just have knowledge of it, you don't have to feel it.
Yeah.
Just having knowledge of it will guide you to your next steps.
And with that, you guys, as I've always preached on these interviews, during these interviews, is be careful to what you're listening to.
Yes.
Whether it's the conversations you're having with yourself, and there's a big cliche thing out there right now about, your diet isn't just what you're eating. It's truly what you're consuming on every level.
Yes.
What you're reading, what you're watching, who you surround yourself with, the food that you eat. So if you're feeding yourself constant negativity and toxicity on all fronts, you're going to get more of that.
Yes.
Right? So flip the script. Realize that there are those of us out here who have dedicated our lives, whether it's in educating you or a practitioner or whatever the role might be, to making you realize that, you know what, you can heal.
Yes.
And you can feel good and you can feel better. That this lot that you're currently living in is not your lot in life. It doesn't have to be that way. And that goes kind of back to the elderly person who's in the final years of their life, 92 years old. My mom, up until she passed, she was relatively healthy. She was, go-getter. She'd go out there because it was her mindset. But then even living in a nursing home, she still had her hair done. She still did her nails. She still put on her makeup. She still showed up even though she was in that bed 24/7. So it was a matter of how are you going to show up and the conversations you're having with yourself. That will make all the difference. The rest of it, as we said, your body can heal itself without all these gadgets and devices and everything. This was a great conversation, Alekha, and I feel like it's going to resonate with so many people on different levels. How does one get a hold of you and how do they work with you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram or TikTok at the ALI Protocol or thealiprotocol.com.
Okay. And that's pretty comprehensive. It allows them to book an appointment with you there and everything.
Exactly.
What can they expect during a consult or a discovery call with you?
I just want to get a little bit more background on what you're going through, see if this would be a good fit, and then really see how I can support you in your next steps.
And it's a 16-week commitment?
Yes.
Right, perfect. And that's guided?
Yeah, it's guided.
Pretty much. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, you have absolutely, between this episode and the last 10, I feel like, none of you have any reason to not try to be a better version of yourself, literally. And if you don't utilize the resources that are in front of you, the educational purposes of all of this information, then it's on you.
Yeah.
It really is on you because we have one life, and I've said this before, and we really don't own this body that we live in. We're renting it. So with that, utilize the resources, reach out to Alekha. Whatever you need to do, reach out to me. I'll connect you with her. But you truly have one life. Use it for what it's worth. Let your body heal the way it's supposed to heal. But definitely do these things, but with supervision, not on your own. I feel like a lot of us are trying to do this on our own. Reach out for help. Get the help. And always be true to yourself. As always, make those commitments. Make those contracts. Honor them. Very few of us do. We make them, but we don't honor them. But do it. Go the extra mile and get over what it is that's preventing you from being the best version of yourself. Alekha, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was so enlightening. I know Corbin's learning something today about this. He always learns something. Yeah. He always walks away going, holy crap, that got me at point B. But you guys, San Diego, California, United States of America, wherever you're watching this from, stay true to yourself and peace out.